Hello everyone and welcome to another FPL video on the channel. In this one we're going to take a look at how we did in game week 26 and then my wildcard plan for double game week 27. Yes, we are probably going to activate the wildcard this one. You know, I want to get a lot of the double game week players in for this week, you know, the Brentford and the Brighton players, because I think they look quite attractive options. But before we get into those plans, let's take a look at how we did in game week 26. So as you can see, we scored 53 points with them -4, so overall 49 points. Kepa got 6 points, clean sheet for him, won't complain with that at all. Then the defence absolutely flopped, a total of 2 points combined for the three of them. So the transfers we made was Gabriel in and Ivan Toney in. Nketiah came out and Hugo Bueno came out. I thought Gabriel would do the business against Bournemouth, but that wasn't to be when he conceded within about, 10 seconds was it? And then he walked away with a 1-pointer because they conceded again. Tarkowski, one of the worst transfers I've ever seen in my entire life, 0 points for him, and also another worst transfer I've ever seen in my life, Renan Lodi, 1 point for him. Awful transfers, unfortunately they weren't to be. Then the midfield also stunk up the place a bit apart from one. Odegaard 2 points, Martinelli 2 points. Now Arsenal did score 3 goals, but unfortunately they weren't involved in them. They did get a nice double game week return for me in the last game week, so I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, in 3 goals of Arsenal, you do expect at least one of them to be involved, but it wasn't to be. Then Marcus Rashford against Liverpool. Not going to speak about this result too much, a little bit sour, but yeah, he didn't do anything in the 7-0 drubbing of Manchester United. As a United fan, yeah. And then Mo Salah, he did get a massive return of 21 points. Without him, we'd be on a big red arrow probably, but he did save our game week. That is one positive of a hugely negative weekend. And then up front, we've got Harry Kane, who did unfortunately blank. They lost at 1-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, Tottenham are just such a hit and miss side, aren't they? Most of the time they miss, but sometimes they can hit, like when they did against Chelsea. But yeah, he's got a great fixture next game week, so hopefully he can do the business then. Then Erling Haaland, captain, 4 points for him. The other main choice was Saka that a lot of people captained, so Haaland did outscore him, but I mean a 4-point return, overall 8. Not the best really, is it? And then the other transfer in was Ivan Toney, and he done the business. 8 points for him, penalty goal and 2 bonus points. Really good return for Ivan Toney. So that took our overall rank from 132,000 to 127,000. So a very small green arrow, but a green arrow nonetheless. Let's take a look at our plans for game week 27. So we're going to be using the site Plan FPL to take a look at what our potential wildcard could be. I've not activated it yet on actual FPL, but this is, you know, a great site to plan ahead. It has all the future game weeks, you know, if you want to see what your team's going to look like in game week 28, 29, etc, etc. So let's have a look at what we've got in 27. Raya in net, Everton away from home, Southampton away from home. 2 good teams to play, but unfortunately they are away from home. They're not going to be guaranteed clean sheets. Everton don't score many goals though, so I do expect there to be, you know, a good chance of a return there for Raya. Then starting in defence, we've got another double game week player in Estupiñán. Leeds away from home, Crystal Palace at home. I think these are 2 great fixtures for Brighton. I think Brighton are going to win both games, to be honest. Do they keep a clean sheet in both? Probably not. I favour them to keep a clean sheet in the Crystal Palace at home one. And, you know, Estupiñán, he's quite attacking as well, isn't he? So I think he's a great option moving forward, Estupiñán, and I'm happy to own him. Then you've got Trippier, Wolves at home, great fixture for them. Wolves don't score many goals, and I do expect Newcastle to get back on the clean sheet train. They just had Man City, now they've got Wolves. Bruno Guimaraes is back in the league now as well. So I think moving forward, Newcastle are going to go back to getting some clean sheets, and they're going to start off with one in the Wolves match, which is why I've doubled up and got Botman as well. And then the final defender is another Brentford one, and that is Rico Henry. He has Everton away and Southampton away. Like I said, he's got the same clean sheet chances as Raya, but of course Rico Henry does offer the potential attacking returns. You know, he's a fairly attacking left back, got a good cross on him. He can always get a cross to Ivan Toney and do the business. So starting off in midfield, we've got Marcus Rashford. He's not going to be leaving my side anytime soon. Of course, he didn't do anything in the last game, but before that, he was on absolute flames. If Man United are going to score goals, it's most of the time it's going to come through Marcus Rashford. He's the main goal threat for us. So, you know, really happy to own him moving forward. Southampton at home is a great fixture as well. And then we've got the 2 Brighton midfielders now. We've got McAllister and Mitoma. Good fixtures, of course, double game week. It was a tough choice. You know, you've got a choice of 2 out of 3, or you could go with all 3. I've gone with 2, but you've got Mitoma, McAllister, and then Solly March. Now March, I believe, has the best expected data, but for me, I've gone with Mitoma and McAllister. Really like Mitoma as a player. I think he's an absolute baller. And then McAllister at the moment is playing in the 10 role, I believe, because Lallana's out. There is a chance that McAllister can occasionally drop back into the deeper role, but for now he's not. And he's also on penalties as well, which is an additional bonus. And the final player is Mo Salah. After a massive game week for him, 2 goals, 2 assists, he's going to stay on the side. I think against Bournemouth away from home, it's a good fixture as well. It's a good opportunity for Salah to amass some more points, hopefully, for our FPL teams. And then leading the line, we've got 2 strikers. We've got Harry Kane, who has Nottingham Forest at home. A great fixture for him. And, you know, Tottenham, they need to start getting some points on the board if they want to secure top 4. Liverpool are right behind them now. So I think against Nottingham Forest, they've got to come out of the blocks, fire in. And if they're going to get any goals, it's probably going to come through that man, Harry Kane. And the second striker and the final player in this team is Ivan Toney. He's another player that's on good form right now. He's on penalties as well. The fixtures are decent. You know, I think Brentford are a decent attacking side as well. I think there's a good opportunity for Ivan Toney to get a great return in this double game week, and he's a potential captain option here as well. So coming off the bench, we've got David De Gea. Now, you could say this is quite an expensive partnership, David De Gea at 5 million and then Raya at 4.8 million, but the fixtures do line up perfectly, which is why it makes them a great combination. Now, of course, Raya has a double game week this one, then he plays in 28, which is a blank game week for a lot of teams, including Manchester United. Then they have the double game week, which I'll probably bench boost in. Then he has at Newcastle, which is not an ideal fixture, whereas Manchester United have Everton at home, which is a great fixture for them. So you can see the combination there, you know, being able to switch out when someone has a bad fixture, switch in the other keeper, and hopefully they do the business. It's basically going to be a set and forget partnership for the rest of the season, so that's why it's good moving forward, because it saves you having to make any more transfers, unless unfortunately one would get injured. Now, a bit of a differential pick here is going to be Ben Chilwell, excellent player. He's a bit expensive though at 5.8 million. But I think if he's going to continue to start for Chelsea, which I believe he will, you know, he's a #1 pick. And if they play in the 5-back formation, you know, with Chilwell at wing-back, that's where he's going to excel. Great attacking asset. And, you know, of course, he will get the bonus with the clean sheets as well. Leicester away from home is not the best fixture, which is why he's on the bench for the first one. But then they do have a fixture in 28, which is Everton at home. And I do expect there to be a clean sheet. He then has a double game week of Aston Villa and Liverpool, and then they play Wolves. So they've got some great fixtures coming up. If he can stay fit, keep playing matches, he's definitely the #1 choice. And, you know, I think he's a good differential to own. Then the final attacker in this team is going to be Ollie Watkins. He's been on excellent form recently as he scored in 5 games in a row. He did blank in the last one, which is the first time in a while, but he's on penalties. He's got a game in 28, which is Bournemouth at home, which is why he's very, very intriguing. Then he's got a double game week and then Nottingham Forest at home. Aston Villa, you know, they've been all right recently, but Ollie Watkins has been that man, been that guy for them. I do expect him to keep the form up moving forward. Then the final player in this draft is going to be James Maddison. Chelsea at home in the first fixture, not a great one, which is why he's on the bench, but then they do play in 28, and then they have a great double in 29. He's got Brentford in 28, then he's got a double Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. You know, Maddison is a player that can create goals for fun. He can score them as well. He's on set pieces. In the last game, he was unlucky to walk away with no returns. He set up quite a few chances for Kelechi Iheanacho. He just couldn't finish them off. And I think moving forward, James Maddison could be a great one to own. And at 8.1 million, he's not a bad price either. So that's the completed draft. You may notice that we've gone without Erling Haaland. Now, this is, of course, not a permanent fixture without him, but it will be for the short term. So if we take a look at his fixtures, he does have Crystal Palace away from home, which is not a bad fixture at all. It is going to be risky to go without him for this one, but then they blank, and then they have a Liverpool at home. So for these 2 games, of course, you don't want him for the blank, obviously, and then Liverpool at home, not the ideal fixture for them. So he is someone that you could go without for the short-term game and then maybe look to bring him back in against Southampton away from home. So for me, I think I'm going to go without him for these couple game weeks. Hope that he doesn't do the business against Crystal Palace, and hopefully Harry Kane can, you know, outscore him, because that's the option here. You can go with Erling Haaland, or you can go with Harry Kane. For me, I'm going to go with Harry Kane because he has the game in 28 as well, and Nottingham Forest is a much better fixture in my opinion. So that's the team for 27. How does it look in 28, and what's the plan there? So the plan is to keep the same except make 1 transfer, and that would be to take out Mo Salah. we'd bring in Bukayo Saka for him because they do play Crystal Palace at home. It's a good fixture for them, and Salah would be blanking. So the team would be Raya in net. Of course, David De Gea doesn't have a fixture. Then you'd be starting Chilwell, the 2 Newcastle defenders against Nottingham Forest. Rico Henry against Leicester at home is not the ideal one to play. You then have Saka, Maddison, and then one blanker. You could take an extra hit to take someone out, but I'm not going to do that because these players do double in the next game week and you'd want them back. And then you'd have Ivan Toney, Harry Kane, and Ollie Watkins. Now, who'd be the captaincy in this one? You're probably looking at Bukayo Saka or Ollie Watkins, in my opinion, but that's how it would look there. And then in 28, which would probably be the bench boosting game week, this is how it would look. I think one potential transfer you could make in this team is Saka to Fernandes. So you'd get one more double game week in. It's one free transfer. It's not going to be a hit or anything like that. So that way you've got every single player's double game week apart from Harry Kane. So I think that looks very good. I really do. I like the look of that a lot. So that's my current plan for FPL, and looking ahead at the different game weeks for my wildcard, etc., and my bench boost. We probably then look to free hit. I think in blank game week, I think it's 32 as a blank game week. Whether I'm going to go ahead with a wildcard, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think it does look a good option to get in the Brentford and Brighton players this game week. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. That would be truly appreciated. But nonetheless, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Cheers, guys.